What it do, beefy stew? What's cracking, people? What's going on? All right, we're gonna dive in today. Yeah, we are doing our Q&A, but I wanted to start out with a couple of stuffs. I wanted to cover some bases for y'all, just to do a quick check in and see where everybody is sitting today on this lovely day. Um, yeah, I was thinking about processing this into a full video, so it's kind of cool with the live community. One of the things that's dope for me is I get to check in with you guys before I turn it into like a regular video, right? You guys are almost catching the beta release of this conversation, because there are still certain mistakes that all creators make that we need to stop making if we really, really want to get serious about this game, right? And I guess, well, this thought process is a little bit twofold, right? One of the first portions of the process is like, you need to come in real deal Holyfield with yourself and kind of decide for you specifically, what does the success look like? Yeah, that's a little bit nebulous for people. I think people start out with somewhat of a goal in mind, but maybe they haven't really processed what exactly does a win look like. And then so we start aiming at all different kinds of targets, not realizing that you're trying to throw darts forward, straight, sideways, behind you, like all at the same time. And there's no way humanly possible for you to hit all of those, because you can't very well hit a target that you're not properly aiming at. So I want to know, in the people in the chat, like, have you already decided what success looks like for you, and what does that mean? And I guess, in a way, why this gets so muddy for people is people tell you to set a goal, right? People tell you to set a target. People tell you to just do different things, right? But then they don't really know what that means. Okay, so let's say Tommy and I'm going to get down to old Alabama, and Tommy and I are going to go get some barbecue, right? So my goal is to go have lunch with my man's Tommy, right? He's been LGL squad from day one, and I want to sit down and have a cool conversation with him. I want to eat some barbecue, whatever. So when I get to Alabama, and then I call up Tommy, and I'm like, hey man, let's go eat, right? In my head, we've talked about this jokingly over the last 3 years. In my head, we're going to get barbecue, because Tommy and I have had this conversation on several occasions. Tommy decides to take me to go get, I don't know, some freaking Razorback steaks or some. That's Arkansas. That's the wrong damn place. Anyway, Tommy, we go get burgers. And then I'm not mad. I mean, I'm still kicking it with Tommy, but I was like, my goal was I was going to eat some barbecue when I was in Bama, right? And because I didn't say that, I didn't say, hey, when we link up, can we absolutely go get this barbecue thing squared away, right? We were so excited about hanging out, talking story, learning a couple magic tricks or whatever. I didn't accomplish maybe my original goal. Would I still be stoked? Yes, because I'm meeting my friend, right? Will we still have a good time? Yes, but it's not the same as what you expected. And so what I used to like to tell my people is expectations are super dangerous, right? When younger days in the dating life, I used to tell my friends, like, man, don't go into these things with expectations. And, they were like, well, especially my female friends, right? They would be like, why? I'm like, because if the dude told you, like, hey, man, like, you're really cool, whatever, I'm going to buy you a car. If the girl told you, hey, man, you're really cool, I'm going to buy you a car. And you'd be stoked. You'll take whatever they gave you, right? If they said, I'm going to buy you a Mercedes, and all of a sudden they rolled up with a BMW, better car, you'd be upset because you thought you were getting a Mercedes. If they told you you're going to get a red Mercedes and they showed up with a silver BMW, you'll be even more pissed because the specificity was there, right? So even though you should be stoked, you're still getting a $50,000 whip, right? People legit would be disappointed because they set certain expectations. So I want to just double check in, like, where are your goals, and are your goals different from your expectations, and have you realized what the success would look like for you? So let me go back in and check in on the comments. And Aubrey, good. Aubrey just reiterating the point. Yes, success for me this morning was definitely go and grab that cup of coffee for sure. Tommy says, my goal is consistency. I like this because that's something that's actually relatively easy to achieve on paper. It's super easy to achieve on paper. It's not really easy to achieve in real life, right? So knowing that Tommy's goal is consistency, I would be like, okay, let's make some content that will help Tommy, reach this consistency. I'm sitting here writing this down, and I just realized what I could do is just copy this, and I'm gonna just make me a little list, right? I'm gonna make me a little list, right? And matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it as Tommy, so I know. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the end of this here list. Boom, 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 boom. Have your papers open. See, people. I made a video the other day. I made a short video explaining you that you can just ask your community what type of content they want to see, and this is a prime example. I can take Tommy's, example of what he wants to get and turn that into a video, right? No, consistency is really good. And so now, Tommy, let's double this up, right? We know that consistency is your goal. Let's get mad specific with this. To Tommy specifically, or anybody else who wants to chime in, if consistency is your goal, how many videos a week on what platform would you consider successfully consistent? Run that back again. How many goals a week on what specific platform would you consider successfully consistent? Okay, so I got my notes open. Let's get that. Tommy says multiple hat jobs demand multiple targets. Yes, that's definitely a problem for me as well, as you could probably guess. Matter of fact, I'm gonna copy this one too because I think that's another good topic to sort of cover because for someone like me that has a personal channel and then a business channel and then, my company channel, like they're all sort of different. Jimmy says, success in creation for me has little to do with financial gain. It's more providing a positive impact. I'm on that path, brother. Yes. Okay. Jimmy, you and I are on a similar boat. I want to copy this because that's a good conversation as well. Put that up here. Bam, bam. Jimmy Hicks. Boom, boom, boom. Dude, when I was a little kid, one of my jobs was cleaning the damn chitlins. And at first, I liked them. I don't like them no more because my grandfather spent a lot of time in Southern Virginia near North Carolina border, sort of back and forth between the two. So, as you know, Southern Virginia, early beginning North Carolina has lots of pig farming. So that was just crackling, chitlins, fatback, bacon, tenderloin, pig feet, like all of that, pork stuff was so easy to get. And I still love a good pork chop. I don't really like ham anymore. Funny thing, as a kid, not that I don't like ham, I just don't seek it out. But as a kid, my one of my nickname was Ham because I always was asking for ham. Like I loved ham, the spirals, the tweets, like the little cloves, all of that mess. Now I don't even seek it out anymore. Like I used to go anywhere, if they had Black Forest ham sandwich on deck, instantly. I hardly seek it out anymore. And I think it's just like they get burnt out when I was a kid. Not had nothing to do with what we're talking about, but you brought up chitlin sandwiches and oh man, we used to get take the chitlins with the hot sauce and a little bit of vinegar. Ugh, that used to be good, but I don't really eat that no more. I've actually had fried rattlesnake bites. I was stationed in San Antonio, so that's pretty good. Wiener Schnitzels. Love me a Wiener Schnitzel. The real deal from Germany, not the fake places. I hit 400 shows last Sunday. Success is the fact that the same tribe still showing up from the beginning are now inviting friends to the party. Yes, the message from them are going to be in my awesome files. There you go. That's a good one, Gretchen. Boom. I was going to say Grenda. I went from Gretchen to Glenda. Grenda is a whole new person, but one video a week. All right, there you go. Yes, yeah, cleaning chillings is a pain in the butt. Oh yeah, so Smithfield, right? Exactly, right. I grew up New York and DC, but when I'm in the DC side, we spend a lot of time in like Richmond, Hampton, Alexandria, like all of the above. So I spend a lot of time at VA. Matter of fact, when I go home, I'm normally chilling in Hampton, Newport News. So them Smithfield hams is so cheap over there. That's super funny. PK, what's up, my brother? That hot sauce, though. Tommy, you ain't answering my question, damn it. I'm looking for your answer. How many videos a week on what platform are you considering success, Tommy? Let's put that in so I can see where we're going. Boom. They're at Langley. So my sister works at Langley. She runs a F-35 division over there at Langley. So, yeah, super cool. Yeah, I didn't know that I had so many people in common. You guys remember this summer, right? Oh, last summer. Like this summer ain't come yet. Last summer, I was doing my streams from Langley, and every once in a while, you're... Oh, dude, I went to Portsmouth all the time. Man, I got a whole bunch of people from the VA. Yo, Nikki lives around that area too, right? So, yeah, man, I love to get home to the VA. I love... the Richmond jazz scene is pretty incredible, and food over there is always a plenty. Man, that's so funny. But riding across them damn bridges all the time sucks, because as soon as there's traffic on the bridge, your butt be on that bridge for a hot minute. Dipping in and out of like Newport, Hampton to Richmond to Portsmouth, them bridges will mess up your whole day. Tommy, I know you're approaching 80, but would you type the dang answer to the question, bro? I'm waiting for this dude. He's over here talking about hot sauce. Anyway, let's just say in supposition, while we wait for Tommy's actual answer, let's say, one of the consistency things is I want to get out a full video on, say, my YouTube channel, and then I want to put out a couple things on LinkedIn, because for the type of business that Tommy's in, which is running quite amazing sports surfaces like basketball floors and things like that, LinkedIn would be good to go. See, there we go. Here's the answer. I was good. I was in the right track. One a month for YouTube and company social media distribution, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, pushed out to clients via constant contact. Okay, so you actually have a pretty decent schedule, but I've seen your video. They are freaking epic for what you're doing, and maybe we're going a little bit heavy on the detail. I don't know if you were watching the flow, but I saw a short this week, and I was like, yo, this is right up Tommy's alley. This is something that you could share in the newsletter just as a, hey, what's up, friends kind of thing. It might have been on Sports Center. Let me see if I can find it real quick on IG. But I saw this and I thought it was really incredible because of the fact that it sort of matches what you do. So I was talking about this on the flow earlier today. Steph Curry was out doing a shoot around you guys know how I feel about Steph Curry with the Rock. Anyway, he was out doing a shoot around early in the morning, and people were getting ready for the game, and he found a sore spot. Ooh, be quiet. He found a loose spot in the basketball surface, right? It's basically a dead spot on the court. Let me find this. Boom. That's almost right. Let's get this Google Chrome correct. Okay, so he finds a dead spot in the basketball court. See, the ball doesn't bounce back, but right here, it bounces back, right? and it's only right there. At first, he was going back and forth in the beginning of the video. You'll see, because this towards the end, he was just dribbling and the ball just took off. And he was like, what the, like, Steph, as much as you might not like him like me, he don't have handles that soft. But the ball just takes off and goes somewhere different. And so him and the ball boy are like trying to figure this out. He brings over somebody else to show them, and he couldn't really hit it. And then he's messing around. He finds it again. And then once he finds it, like only Steph Curry would find this. Why? Because he's doing the prep. So couple of things that would be dope about sharing this on your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, maybe even in the newsletter. Like, here's something interesting, guys. We sell premium basketball surfaces. And had we installed this floor at the Golden State Arena, whatever the hell it's called, this would never happen. But interesting, look at how Steph Curry found the dead spot in the basketball court, blah, blah, blah. That's the way you could take something and add that to your consistency without you having to recreate it. You could simply just share this. Or you could do what's called the remix on this, because this is a reel, right? If you can find the original reel, you should be able to remix this and, add your little portions to it. If you can find this actual video on YouTube somewhere, you can clip this and you can stop it in sections and be like, hey, look, this is really interesting. And you can explain how it happens. You can explain how, for someone who has an aging surface, could go in and check for these spots in their surface so they don't have to get embarrassed by Steph Curry with the rock. And then you also might question Steph Curry's choice of socks. Like, what the hell is up with them socks, Steph? But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. And the first person I thought of when I saw this was Tommy, because Tommy sells sports surfaces, right? As part of his business. So that's the kind of stuff that you could add to your process, Tommy, that doesn't require you to produce anything, right? Maybe you have videos or you see time lapses where people are using the surface for multi-purpose, right? Very common in universities where, it's basketball, then it's volleyball, then they'll do something like throw a rally or a concert or something. And, you're just talking about how to protect the service between these various events. What are some things that you should look out for, when other people are bringing other things in? And because this arena is used for everything, that little thing right there probably come from something stupid like moving the track equipment or a heavy vehicle around there. You know what I'm saying? So that's ways that you could add some stuff to your content without having to go fully deep. So I know the piece that you're putting out is heavily produced. Maybe show off some lighter produced content that you can use just to tickle your audience's ear without having to come out once a month, right? Because in my head, if you're coming out once a month, your once a month have to be a banger every time because you made people wait for it, right? So sometimes one of the things you could do for consistency is do smaller chunks, and then that works better. It's like snacking all day, and then when you sit down to dinner, you're not hungry because you had a little bit of something here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Chevy Chase Center. The Chevy Chase Center. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Several sub-niches: architects, coaches, school business official, different that is definitely a challenge when you have these multiple different portions. I would also look at how can you chunk the content so that you could put all of that change at the head of the video, right? And be like, how's it going out there, architects? These are some conversations that we're going to show in this video. In the back end of this video, you're going to see a finished product, but you can even tell them, hey, there's people that watch this from other stuff that might not entail you directly, but I'll explain your in here on the front load. You cover what you got to say, and then you show them the other portion. So maybe it's just in the style of the way you put it together so that you don't have to completely hide from them that it's being seen by other people. It's sort of like when you're making a video, say for the this little tripod here, right? This is a Mantis pod. And when I address people, I can address Mantis Pod owners, and then I can also address, if you're looking for a dope portable tripod, Mantis Pod is really dope. If you haven't already bought one, I have some videos or some conversations where I put out there for people who are new to the Mantis Pod world. But to my longtime Mantis Pod users, I'm going to break down a little secret you might not have known. And then for people that are interested in buying one, you should still watch this, because when you get yours, you're going to want to know this. There's a way to address it to multiple crowds at one given point. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Rich. He found it. He found the longer video. Yeah, even if this is worth you clipping and adding a little your humor and just sitting this out as just a random find, because you guys might find this interesting. And for me as a creator, I find it interesting because it shows this dude's prep. I will tell you point blank, looking straight at this camera, I can't stand freaking Steph Curry. But I'm not going to hate the game. He is the best basketball player in the world right now, and will probably go down to be the GOAT. Yes, I'm sorry, Jordan. But part of this is his preparation. Part of the reason why he's so good and the Warriors are so good is his preparation, right? He's like a legit student of the game. His coach is a legit student of the game. His coach actually got to watch, Mike and them do all of that from the bench. But from the bench, he was paying attention. So it goes to show what good prep can be like, right? This man is what he is because of his prep. So I think it's really incredible. Know your Joseph, if you're just starting out, is it better than East Down to start out with a way of the topics? All right, so this is dope question. Let me fix this real quick because, Paul is going to yell. There. Now it's fixed. Yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. In the past, we would have told you to niche down. I would say nowadays it is not as important. However, it is important. Imagine a channel where, all right, this is me. I'll use my channel, for instance, because everybody in here knows I am hardcore Japanophile. I live there, speak the language, visit a couple times a year, like it's my maneuver, right? I also love all things creating when it comes to podcasts. I love all things creating when it comes to woodworking and CNC. I can cook my ass off. I can cook better than most folks, right? I also am a hardcore car nut. I'm a diehard F1 person. Diehard, Manchester United men's and women's U.S. soccer team person. What if every time you came to my channel, you didn't know which type of those videos would you get? Joe, I've seen you come over the last month and a half to just about every stream. Why? Because you're trying to grow your channel. Listen to me closely now, right? You're trying to grow your channel. And you're like, that idiot over there in Hawaii tends to talk about the stuff that's going to help me grow my channel. And for whatever reason, he's an absolute dillhead, but I like that guy, right? A bell end, as they say in Britain, right? That dude's a bell end, but something about that cat I like. So over the last month, you literally showed up like 10 times. And if all of a sudden, all I was doing was talking about F1 racing, how would you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, reason why you come on Tuesday, Saturday, some of the Ecamm stuffs, is you like, oh, Doc is going to talk about something that's going to help me move my channel. So if all of a sudden I'm sitting up here, talking random craziness that had nothing to do with what you want, that would kind of piss you off because you wasted your time. You came here to get that good info. You know what I mean? And so that's the disadvantage of trying to do myriad things. Your people know you as a thing. I am a content coach. I coach people on content creating and getting the best out of your content, your time, your space, your energy, learning all the new tools, and a lot of it has to do with mindset, adjusting your mindset to deal with this content creation business because, hey, it ain't easy, right? Pimping ain't easy. If it was, everybody would do it. So if I'm just up here teaching you how to cook, teji bulgogi or, some sort of tonkotsu ramen with, like karaage chicken, like none of that's gonna pop your socks. It'll taste good, but it won't pop your socks. I got oh, you already fixed it. I fixed it anyway. But yeah, so I would say very carefully, like I would say very carefully think about that, or make sure your audience is fully aware that you have channel ADD and you might veer. And if they're cool with it, if they say, hey, Joe, we cool with it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But if they say like, nah, Joe, we're not cool with that. We need you to talk about the thing that you came to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And just curious, the name itself says to me that you're talking about coffee. So, you know what I'm saying? And so like, if I'm coming to hear you talk about coffee, I kind of don't want to hear you talk about nothing else. I'm just saying. Here, I'm searching it just because I want to. And all I get is the singer, which is one of my favorite tracks, by the way. I want to know. I want to know. Anyway, see, it's not even coming up in search. So you definitely got to bang out some more content because you have definitely more current than the song. The song is 13 years old. So, yeah, if you just bang out some more content, you should be able to catch that up. Really funny. All right, anyway, let's go. Let's go. I don't have my YouTube studio open, which would let me go directly to the channel. So let me also open that and stop messing myself up. Pew, 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 pew. All right, let's do that. All right, cool. Tommy says that is portables. Portables. That's what it is, because they take this floor and they put it together and take it apart, put it together and take it apart. That makes sense. Yes, right. Different language for different target audience. Good. That is true. That is true. Go to the channel. There you go. I found it. Oh, Joe, this is dope, son. You're starting out brand spanking new. Like you didn't make anything yet. All right, there you go. So, yeah, right now, I take it back. You can kind of experiment, but here's what I would do. We were talking in the very beginning of this about setting a goal and understanding what your success should look like. One of your goals should be to get past that first 50 videos, right? And at this point in time, just create that first 50 videos. Just get good at the creating part. They don't have to be perfect. You're starting from scratch. Like you haven't even uploaded your first video. So you can go from scratch, make whatever you want, play around, experiment, try to break everything. You don't have to sweat anything at this point. All of that stuff is going to change as you go. You'll start to develop your audience. So there you go. What's up, Sam? Good to see you. Boom. Right? You haven't heard that for a while? Yeah, I know. I feel you. So one of the other things that we're touching on at the beginning, like sort of what does success look like? And I think this is cool. I think that having Joe in our midst is actually pretty cool because we can reset our brains by watching a new person start from the beginning again, right? Because some of us are, 300 videos deep and have to start from the beginning again, and it's okay. We were talking about this on the flow earlier today. Your audience isn't necessarily going to go back and then scrub your past catalog. So if you decide to do a channel reset at the moment, you're probably okay. If you do have an established folks, then you want to say that. So for me, what I have been struggling with hardcore is I've been wanting to go heavy on the AI stuff, but I don't want to abandon my creators where we've been talking a lot about, like, blessing your channel, growing your channel, getting better in the space, finding all things content creating, and how to do this from a business owner's perspective, not from, a gamer channel perspective. Why? Because when I used to go to see Nick stream and Roberto and some of my friends, they always got, gamer people in there talking about, gamer stuff. And I was like, nah, there's people that legit for the business for them, it's not about getting YouTube monetized. It's about getting another person to buy a basketball court, right? Or it's about getting another person to, go into a training program or, buy tickets for their travel agency business or something of that nature, right? Sign them up as a consultant or something, right? So you have a different, like Tommy said, right? Different sales pitch for different people. You always have to remind yourself what the audience wants. And part of the beginning is figuring out exactly who your audience is. I was talking about this on the flow this morning. I hear so many podcasters asking questions at a podcast conference or festival or something, and they're asking questions that are very self-serving. Like, how can I make this easier? What's the shortcut to this? What's the shortcut to that? I don't hear a lot of questions about how can I make sure my audience is getting the most value out of my content. If you do that, the other stuff is automatic. Automatic. The reason why people pay that Costco membership is there's a benefit to giving Costco, what is it now, $80 a year, to know that you're going to save all of that almost every trip to Costco, right? There's a reason why they have things set up the way they have it set up. They tend to be a little bit more customer forward than manufacturer or product forward. A lot of manufacturers bust their butt to get their product in Costco. And if you can't keep up with Costco's level of what our customers expect, you get booted just as soon as you got in there. So you have found things at Costco which are dope. And you go back to get it again, ain't no more. And you ask the rep, ain't coming back. Right? 100%. Tommy, this is right. When I was in marketing school, our teacher used to harp on us while we would be in the middle of doing a conversation or doing a topic or something. Our teacher would always harp on us, and she would just be like, "With them," right? And I mean, this requires a question mark, but this was always going on. Whenever we're talking, we're doing our presentation, no matter what we're saying, Miss Deke would stop us and be like, "With them," and then you got to explain, right? And you're like, I'm going to make this beverage, and it just so happens that I have a purple one today. I'm going to make this beverage, and I'm going to make it because I think people drink way too much soda. And I think, I'm going to be cute, and I'm going to call it bubbly because of the bubbles, but I'm going to spell it like Bubly because, the word is really long. It won't fit well on the can. And then she's going to be like, okay, with them. And I'm like, well, you're trying to cut down on your caloric. You're trying to cut down on your caloric intake. You're trying to cut down on your sugar intake. And she'd be like, okay, that's a good one. And then she'd be like, okay, with them. And I'm like, well, you want a beverage that's cold and has the texture in your face of soda, but, isn't deadly and less chemicals than a diet soda. So you're like, okay, that's good, right? So the whole questions why you're generating this is with them. Oh, one more positive benefit that you would get, Miss Customer, is that it's, They say beer is 96% water and cola is like 92% water. It's 100% water. We've just added the carbonation and a little essence so you don't get bored of drinking. And you know what? We're going to start out with 5 flavors, but eventually we'll get up to like 20. And then so she would go through all of our stuff and make us answer the with them question, like, what's in it for me? You know what I'm saying? So that's very you should be doing all your content like that, right? So one of the other biggest mistakes that people are making is sort of overusing clickbait, right? I still watch people do this mess. It's kind of obnoxious. I'm gonna drink this purple water. It's not actually purple. Overusing clickbait is like crying wolf. You can do it a couple of times here and there, but you don't want to use it so much where it starts to become distasteful. I am watching certain creators. Yeah, it's really distasteful. So if you're going to do the catchy thumbnail and title thing, just be careful, and it will help you develop a lack of credibility if you always come with the clickbait titles. Very few people can get away with doing that constantly, so be careful of that. Tommy says 80% of the people are pragmatic, not wanting to be the guinea pig or someone else's beta. Having success story with testimonies is dope for the pragmatic prospects. Yes, very true. Very true. I'm willing to be guinea pig, whatever, for all kind of myriad stuff. But there's definitely, I know my other half ain't about that life. She wants to know that something is going to work like solid, set in stone. Like, are you sure this is going to work? And I'm like, well, there are no certainties. What do you mean there's no certainties? I'm like, no, because anything could happen. Like, she does not like that half of the conversation. And those things are real for just about anything. But there's definitely people out there that don't want to be no parts and not name none of that. So Tommy is right on that aspect. Sorry, I'm adjusting my overhead for no other reason that it was just driving me crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I like guinea pig and stuff. I often wondered where my desire to sort of be first to market or bleeding edge comes from. And I think it has to do with starting out the beginning portion of my life with not having anything and feeling left out because, other kids would get those Nike Cortezes long before I could think about it. I still had Maypops. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Maypops, but bruh. I wonder what happens if you Google Maypops. That has me purely curious. I wonder if it even comes up. Maypops. Dun, dun, dun. It has to do with flowers, but that's not what we called Maypops. Maypops shoes is the second choice. Um, they still don't really cover it good, but yeah, that's funny. Google doesn't really know what Maypops is. That must be a hyper local conversation. That's super funny. I don't see anything in here that would show Maypops. What are Maypops? Okay, it started in 1979 by the Barrett Jogger, and the suggestion suggests a popular value shoe had an actual name. A name other than Maypops, which was a derogatory term. I knew the reason what the term was from. A derogatory term for the inexpensive non-brand name of sneakers of that era. Okay, there you go. So I didn't even know it came from an original shoe. It's just what we called them. But that's funny. That is legit funny. We called them Maypops because we had a little song, Maypops. They cost $1.99. Maypops. They'll break your ankles every time. Maypops. Anyway, this was the original Maypop right here. This weird shoe. And so when you would go to Kmart or Walmart back in the day, depending on where you live, we had Kmart on the East Coast. They had these shoes, and like you wanted an Adidas, it would be like two extra stripes on it because Adidas had three. Or you had like this weird, like instead of the Nike joint, right? You would ask your mom and dad to get you some Nikes, and they would get you something that looked like this. Like that is not a Nike, mom. I don't know how she confused those, but you had those. Uh, One of the ones that we used to clown a lot was these really, really fake like Adidas joints. Like I don't know what the heck you call these, right? They like tried to mix Pro Kids with the side and Adidas with this side, and you could find them at any store. Really, really hard. They're trying to come back with the arrows in their back. That's funny. That's why, yeah, that's us bleeding edge people. That would be us. That would be us. Right? The gym shoes from the grocery store. So now you know what Melvin knows what I'm speaking of. Gym shoes from the grocery store, right? Them joints were the Maypops. Um, it's funny, right? Because they looked so different from what was out there. You don't want to be that person, right? You don't want to have you don't want to give like the impression of your Nike or Adidas, but you're really making Maypops. You know what I mean? So it's okay to tell people you brand new. It's okay to tell people you just starting out. It's okay to tell people that you haven't got things all figured out. They will ride with you much harder than if you come out trying to be, like dope and you ain't. Like that gets sold much, much quicker. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that like Melvin and Battle Vibes are here because one of the things, oh my God, sorry, them tough skins, bro. Freaking hated them. Them joints with the patch in the knees. Oh God, they were so horrible. They were so horrible. Yes, Guy Kawasaki is definitely one of my original heroes. Because I actually know him because he's from here. But yeah, my niece actually goes to the same high school that he went to. Anyway, I'm glad that my music people are here because something that I'm still struggling with getting through to new creators is that I guarantee you the first time Melvin picked up a flugel, trumpet, whatever, it didn't sound like it sounds now. I guarantee you it didn't sound nothing like it sounds now, right? Now the man is a legend. Like the stuff he makes is really, really dope. But I guarantee you in the beginning, his mama was like, man, I know I shouldn't discourage this boy, but he's horrible. You know what I'm saying? People think that there's some kind of like born capability, and there's not. There just isn't, right? Like you put in. I was explaining this to someone the other day. Actually, I was explaining it to y'all the other day. Talent is legit skill effectuated to an end product. And so when people be like, "Oh, so and so is talented," and I'm like, "Man, that's kind of mean, because that's not. You're taking away that person's. You're taking away that person's skill by assuming that is some kind of raw talent. You know what I mean? So I've heard, Melvin's music, and you don't get that from I just started and I woke up the next day and I could do this. It came from lots of scales, lots of study, lots of music theory, lots of actual performances, lots of, making a track so that his wife could do her song and her yelling at him that that's not right. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm right, right? You know what I'm saying? So same way, ballad vibes. Like when you're playing, when you first sit down as a child to your first keyboard or whatever, you start doing stuff. Like it's not what it is. You got to go through all of those things, right? You got to go through like Melvin said right here. Look, crashed and burned my first performance. I crashed so bad that I left the stage, and my mom came supporting me to get back there and try to get. Yeah, you've got to go and you got to do those. You got to do the ugly. You got to do the ugly stuff. You can't just wake up one day and all of a sudden you're great. You've got to do the ugly stuff first. And from the ugly stuff, you get better. Every single person has a horrible performance. Somewhere out there, there is a video. I know it's hard to believe, but somewhere out there, there's a video of Beyonce singing off key and just ruining the show. If not, then her mom, Major, did a really, really good job of hiding it so that it never surfaces to the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like somewhere it's out there, but yeah, just wanted to say that. So don't be afraid to put your ugly stuff out there. You have to at some point, and let people see it, and grow from that. And it's really cool. Is like I can look back at them joints now, and I can laugh. I can absolutely laugh at some of these old school videos, man. I was on a show recently, and I was talking to somebody about some of the old like crap I had on my channel. Let me see, did I save any of those things? No, I did not, but I will show you because it was nasty. On the scale of 1 to what the hell were you thinking, it was pretty bad. Here, let me go here and pull this, go to YouTube. I'm happy to show this trash because to me it's a reminder of exactly how far a person has come. So go in your channel, right? And then, 707 videos later, I can click on this guy and it's on latest, but I want to sort that. That's not going to help. Something's messed up my sort. I just got to scroll. Sorry. There's no easier way to do this than to scroll. I'm going way back. Way back. Like, some of these joints was just like, bro, what were you doing? Oh, and to Joe, like, look, I had all kind of crazy content on my channel back in the day. I was super messy all over the place. Like, because we didn't know back then. We didn't know. You just made like there's cooking stuff on my show. There's tech stuff. There's app reviews. There's me and Tom Anderson and Trey Ratcliffe shooting fireworks in Waikiki. Yes, MySpace Tom. Yes, he used to live here. I think he still does actually. But some of my old school green screen takes, just all over the place. Your man's up here making Dr. Pepper cakes, teaching folks how to make tea, grilling steaks, like look buttoned up in a collar shirt, looking like a real estate agent because at that time I was a real estate agent. Doing a rickshaw bag thing. I'm going back to some of this Mac OS Ken, old school Merlin Man. I don't know if you guys know him. Old school. Always been into the sake thing. This video is primarily in Japanese on my channel. Was stupid. Used to make lots of video content about Moleskine, one of my popular habits. Again, just really dumb old school content. Here we go. This is just pure trash. Absolute. 13-year-old video, bro. Look at your man's. Like, looking down at the screen, remnants of hair. Still had hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just hot trash. My Japanese degree popping out in the very top up there. I can humble brag about that. Like, this just dumb. You know, back then it was cool. And what I did, which is really stupid, the stuff that was older than this, I actually deleted because I thought it was better to delete some of that. I wish I had it. I wish I had have kept the ones even older than this. I've been on YouTube since '06, like legit. I've been on the platform for 16 years. So, look, just to show you how old it is, this video actually edited in Keynote back in the day, fam. But I was trying to show people how to add Japanese emojis to their iPhone because back in the day, you had to jailbreak the phone to get Japanese emojis on the phone. Isn't that hilarious? Because now it's just so normal. But I made this entire thing in Keynote. It's not really a video. It's a keynote presentation with me talking about basically how to set this stuff because back then there was no easy way to record a phone. So the smartest thing to do was to take screenshots and put those screenshots into Keynote and like do an entire video in Keynote. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, but back then, getting 5,000 views on a video back in the day was like, yo, son, you win it, right? So don't be afraid to start where you got to start, people. I didn't just one day went to B&H Photo or Amazon and bought a bunch of stuff and called it a studio, and then it was like, I'm dope. Like, yo, I used to be a train wreck too. Matter of fact, sometimes still a train wreck. But I'm happy to be that train wreck if I can get one of you guys to do something that makes the world better. Let's put it that way. Let's see. I think Rich and I are right about the same ballpark. Man, my Chrome just went stupid. There we go. Oh yeah, so Rich and I we're in a very similar ballpark. Boom. May 28, 2006. Damn. Rich, you live in Texas. you just like tell me how's it go? Tell me that you live in Texas without telling me that you live in Texas. My first video was me and my buddy shooting at a rat on his back fence with a pellet gun. I love you, brother. God, that is just gold. That is so gold. But yes, fam, yes, it is. It is one of those things that, again, if showing you how embarrassing I really had. I wish I'd have kept the really raunchy ones because they would have been worse. But if showing you how embarrassing my content used to be can make any of you guys feel better about where you're at today, I am happy to show you that. Because yeah, I think that somebody somewhere, some of you guys have talented capabilities, but you're holding yourself back from wanting to be perfect. Here, I just want to show you something. Even for those of you, when I say I hate green screen, it's because I used to do it and it looked like trash. Right? So me and my boy Jerome doing a podcast back in the day, and yeah, this green screen was so bad, but we thought we were cool. Like I can see, and I'm good at this, and there's very little halo, but I can see the halo, and so that bothers me. So yeah, I just like, oh, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Why did I do that? It's super silly that so many people are so wrapped up in what they think people want to see or what they think people want to know. And yeah, man, like you got to do you. You got to get out there, put out your best content. Don't be afraid. Know that you can adjust. And when you make a mistake or you make an adjustment, tell your audience. Don't try to hide from it. Yeah, just get out there and Put your best stuff out there, and your best stuff might not be in the very beginning because nobody starts anything in life automatically dope. The only thing you're good at birth is shitting. Some of y'all can't do that. Your mom gotta push your stomach and get it out. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Come on, Tommy. Right? You can't hit him if you don't swing at him. Very, very, very true. Right? I think it's super important that we just get out there and put out the stuff that's in our head and call it a day. You would be impressed at the cool stuff that you find if you let yourself be vulnerable. You will find there is another you that you haven't even tapped yet if you allow yourself to be vulnerable. If you put yourself out there and be like, let's go. I'm going to be vulnerable about this. I'm going to share my very beginning and be like, I got to start. You got to start. Yes, there you go, Joe. You absolutely got to start. So, challenge for you guys is to take, it's the 1st of April. First quarter is, sort of behind us now. Let's start the second quarter. Challenge yourself. Set some new goals. When you set that goal, tell yourself, what does a successful outcome look like, right? Be honest as possible with yourself as to what a successful outcome looks like. And from that, build your work product from there. Start there. And then, we'll be checking in time and time again. I got a guest coming up for you on Saturday. I'm excited about this guest. Kind of funny. I had brought him in as a Ecamm call. We're just doing some Ecamm tech support stuff. And come to find out, we got a lot of friends in common and just a really cool cat. So I'm going to build that thumbnail and put that up for you guys today. But you probably don't want to miss the Saturday show. It's going to be a dope guest. So that'll be cool. Tommy said, tell us about Creator Camp. Well, I can't spill all the beans, but the thing about Creator Camp, I had an idea after People of Video, like not last year, but the year before last. Diana, Luis, Gigi, and I, we're all driving to B&H from Albany, and we were just in conversation, and there was a traffic, and we got stuck. What would have been, it should have been like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive turned into like a 4-hour drive. And while Diana and I were in the car, I said, Diana, the one thing that's wrong with conferences is you go there, you get all this dope information, you write all of these notes, and you're going to go back and put these things into practice. And then you get home, the first day back, you're tired because of the flight, the traveling. Traveling's a pain in the butt. Tommy and I are old enough to remember you walked in the airport, you walked straight to your gate, and you sat down. Your family would come to the gate with you. Everybody would just marinate at the gate. And then when it was time to board the plane, you kissed your loved ones. They went back to the car and you got in the plane. So if you had a flight leaving at 10, it's 9:15 now. I could leave my house at 9:30 to get on a 10 a.m. flight. As long as I was there by 9:45, I could just walk into the plane. That doesn't exist now. So when you came home, like I got to recover. I'm tired. Like if you drove like Luis, you drove 2 days. By the time you get home, half of what you thought you was finna do is out the window. So I said, Dinah, wouldn't it be dope to do a conference, not near a major city where people can just be thinking about, oh, this night going to come and I'm going to go run out and go see the statue of Paul, or I'm going to go check out a Broadway show or something. What if it was far enough away from stuff that you're not enticed to go psycho and party? What if there's no events like, when Rich and I went to podcast movement, right? Rich, Mike, myself, we all went to these little after the conference drink ups, right? And then a lot of the drink ups turned out to be in my hotel. So I'm supposed to be ready the next day to go man this booth with Katie and Mike them. And 2 a.m., I'm in the bar with Jim Fuse playing shuffleboard, or whatever you call that thing with the sand on the table in the hockey puck. Not shuffleboard. I forgot what. Maybe it is shuffleboard. I don't know what it's called. I'm not that old. But you don't get a chance to actually do, right? And so as I was riding with Diana, the queen of actually do, I was like, we need to do a conference where people have to do the work. And so I started putting it together, and I realized there was no way I was going to do this by myself. And so I said, Katie, we should do this as an Ecamm thing. And then Katie was like, let's go. And then she took the ball and ran. So I had a dumb idea. Katie turned it into a better idea. And now there's Creator Camp. So you're gonna come to Boston. You're gonna be put together in like a couple different teams, and you're gonna have actual teachers, and you're gonna actually create content. Like you're gonna be there actually creating. When we learn about shooting, you're going to shoot with shooters. When you learn about editing, you're going to edit with editors. When you learn about copywriting, you're going to copyright with copywriters. You're going to actually do what it is you're supposed to do, so that way you're legit gaining it and not just being taught how to do it, hoping that you're going to go home and put these things into practice. You're going to have sort of no choice. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. For me, if I were to go do a conference in the UK and they had a conference in Manchester, that would be a really bad look. I probably won't learn nothing at the conference. I'll probably be the whole time hanging out at Old Trafford, trying to squeeze in as many matches as possible. Not sponsored. I wish. Oh my God. If I was sponsored by Bubbly, I'd be like, hey, Pepsi. Has a nice blackberry essence. And you know what they say? The blacker the berry, the sweeter the bubbly. Oh, you're talking about New Hampshire. Yeah, that's an easy drive. From Manchester, New Hampshire, back to Amesbury is a super, super easy drive. I tend to fly into Boston because it's Hawaiian's home, so I don't have to change planes. I go Hawaii, Boston, jump on the, leave Logan, jump on the freeway, straight up. Unless me and Cameron Junkie oversleep. That's a whole different story. But yeah, Creator Camp is going to be bomb. So I can't wait to see some of you guys there. We have a lot of fun and activities planned, but I think this is going to be great because you're going to actually walk away with some skills. You know what I'm saying? With some actual skills to pay the bills. That's right. We do have Orlando is now a Hawaiian hub. So this is facts. So I can't wait to see you. And if you don't come, you don't come. Paul's coming. So I get to kick it with Paul and Diana and Kat and, a couple of my people. So we're good. We're good. I hope to see you guys there. It's going to be really a lot of fun. I appreciate all you guys. I will see you on Saturday. Again, got some big things planned for Saturday. At this moment in time, Karen and I have to hit the road. So I will see you in the flip side. I appreciate all of you guys. Keep hustling. Keep your success thing going. Joe, thank you for being a part of, coming to check us out. And hopefully we get to see some video on your channel. I'm going to be gone until the end of April, starting next week. Next week, Tuesday, will be my last stream where I'm not in a hotel or something. So I'm going to give you until I get back in 3 weeks after that to have like at least 2 videos on that channel. Or then we're going to start teasing you. Let's go. I love you guys. Peace out. A-Town Stomp.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. it never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of